In my mind, I thought to myself about 1,000 things when he came up there. I thought, what's going on? What's happening? What's he saying? What did I do? Where's this from? And then I thought, did Dave set this up? And I'm thinking, Dave would never do that. So no, I'm trying to make sense of all this. Then I got the security guards, armed security guards around afterwards going, hey, was that a setup? And I'm like, no, it wasn't. I could have used some help.
Arrest that guy.
Hey, it's Brian Soscia. I'm here with founder of BKFC, president of BKFC, David Feldman. And I've been waiting to get you on here because I want to talk to you about a lot of stuff. Number one, BKFC 13. Just passed, was amazing. I should probably ask you to be a good host. How are you feeling today, bud?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How are you doing, Brian?
I'm doing great.
I hope you're feeling better than you're looking.
I can't guarantee that, man. That's why I'm not used to doing these tape things. That's why it's usually radio for me, because nobody gets to see me. The ratings are dropping.
You do truly have a face for radio.
No, you are 100% right, and you're here with me, and I do too. I love it. But I want to talk about some of these guys. I mean, they'd have to be on the radio after they got their faces exploded in BKFC 13. They wouldn't have a face for TV unless it was BKFC TV, unless it was on the app, because we want to film that stuff. But it was an excellent card, hot card. I enjoyed it. I know you did too, and I know that because I watch you. I watch you at ringside. I've never seen a person so invested. Any of the fans, anybody, you're there. You're not just sitting there calmly watching the fight. You're yelling, you're screaming, you're having a good time. I mean, there's nothing like it watching you. You get so excited.
Well, you know what it is? I truly love it. Like, as a fan, I love the sport. It's not, I love what we built, which I do. I love what we built.
Of course.
But I love the sport. Like, the action is second to none. I've been in boxing my whole life. My father trained 7 world champions. I've been around this thing my whole entire life. But there's just something different with this, and I just can't help it. I sit on the edge of my seat on every one of these fights. It's amazing.
And you're a former fighter yourself. We know that. You were in the boxing world. But let's just talk. I mean, it's bare knuckle. Before we get into the recap, I would guess you have probably multiple times. Have you ever been hit straight to the face with a bare knuckle? And what does it feel like?
Absolutely. Look, I grew up in a house with fighters. My brother was a professional boxer, and obviously we didn't see eye to eye a lot. So we had some bare knuckle fights in that kitchen a lot of times, which was funny because normally a parent would be like, "What are you guys doing?" My dad would be like, "Oh, you didn't hit him back?" It was great. It was great watching that. But I mean, look, I love it. I actually did do an underground bare knuckle fight, which I think we're going to release pretty soon.
There's footage of this?
Yeah, there's
footage.
How have
I not seen this yet?
It's been around for a couple years, and we just kept it hid because we were working on this thing. But I think now it's okay. I think we're going to release it. It was fun. It was a fun night. There's nothing like getting hit with a bare knuckle. Like, it's weird because people are begging to fight for us, begging, and sometimes I scratch my head. I'm like, man, they're getting hit with a bare knuckle, and they love it. There's just nothing like it. It's just something different than getting hit with a glove or anything else. It's different, and I mean, it raises the adrenaline. It feels different. It's a different type of pain. It's not like where you get punched and you're like stunned and you feel like you're gonna get knocked out, which you can.
Yeah.
But it's more like the different kind of pain when the knuckle hits you in the cheekbone or hits you in the nose. You feel it a lot different than you do with a glove.
I love the fact that you've done it. Like, you're not only promoting it and you're not a founder, you've actually done it. So I think the fighters have a deep respect for that. If they don't know, now you know.
I'm not only the president, but I'm also a client.
You got Cy Sperling over there. But because of that, that's why you can put on so many awesome shows. And you were saying the adrenaline of getting hit. I'd say the adrenaline of being a fan, watching them fight, is not the same, I would guess, but it's pretty similar. I've never seen anything like this. It's incredible to sit there at ringside and, like I said, to watch you. But BKFC 13, man. What a show.
It was great. I mean, we had a lot of great fights.
I'm going to tell you right now.
But, Brian, I call this sport the great equalizer. I always call it that. And people go, well, what do you mean? I say, well, it's the equalizer sport where you can bring a boxing guy, a true, really good, legitimate, for instance, Nico Hernandez.
That's what I was going to say, Nico, yeah.
2016 Olympic bronze medalist in the room, and fighting an even up 50-50 MMA guy who was very, very skilled, Chancey Wilson. And it was a great competitive fight. I mean, Nico Hernandez showed his skill, he showed his hand speed, and he looked sensational. So I'm not taking anything away from him. But in a boxing match, these two guys in a boxing match, Nico Hernandez, it wouldn't have lasted 30 seconds.
Yep.
So this is truly the great equalizer sport where you can really find out who's better, the boxer or the MMA guy. And on that card, I believe we had 3 or 4 bouts that were matched with boxer MMA, and one boxer won, one MMA guy won, one boxer won, one MMA guy won. So it's great to see that too, because that's the age-old question: who wins, a boxer or an MMA guy?
Of course. I'd be interested to see the stats of BKFC over time, if we can come up with more stats like that, to see MMA, how they do, how boxing does, how bare knuckle does. I'd be interested to see all that. But you brought up Chancey and Nico, and that's what I was going to bring up. Great minds think alike. Can we go with that here, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
I thought you were going to say no. Okay, good.
Well, before we get to that, I want to talk about something that happened at BKFC 13 that was amazing. Our first BKFC heavyweight champion came into the building and he stunned you. And I didn't set this up, and I just want to apologize to you for that happening. That was an incident that really truly shouldn't have happened. But Arnold Adams, what happened there, Brian, is he interrupted your interview with Joey Beltran. He obviously didn't do the thing that I wanted him to do. But the reason is kind of my fault, because we talked before the fight and he said, Dave, when am I going to fight again? And I said, you're not going to fight again unless you can promote yourself. And I guess he took that to another level and thought he was promoting himself. But
that worked.
He shouldn't have done it the way he did it, and I know it threw you off. And I wanted to sit, live on air and apologize to you that you weren't made aware of that, because I was not made aware of that. But
because it wasn't supposed to happen.
It threw you off, and I actually talked to Junior today about it, and I said you dealt with it like a professional, and it was great.
Well, thank you for saying that. See how nice he is? We should always leave the mics on. You're always so nice when the mics are on to me. But
don't always leave the mics on. Do not.
We've had some problems. But no, I wasn't going to bring that up because I didn't know how you felt about that. We haven't really spoken about that. I appreciate you saying that.
Well, look, it's the elephant in the room, right? It was, and we let it out, so it's no big deal. Arnold Adams will probably fight again early next year, and I'm sure he's going to.
Not against me.
He's going to issue an apology to you, absolutely. And we have a lot of excitement going on in the heavyweight division right now, so we're excited about the heavyweight division. We're really, really excited about that, which we'll get into that a little later.
There's a lot of great stuff in the heavyweight division. I do know that, and I do appreciate that. And it threw me off a little bit, and it didn't really make me angry. It shocked me. I didn't know who it was. It took me a second.
So
it's live
funny.
TV.
So I know you for a long time. And I know you from being a professional wrestler. Yeah. So Junior's sitting next to me, and we're watching it, and we're like, is that set up? Did you set that up with Brian? And I'm like, no, I really didn't. I'm like, but he had to just roll with it because he rolled with it good. Like, he just went with it. And then we get to you, and you're like, what the hell just happened? Who the hell is that guy?
In my mind, I thought to myself about 1,000 things when he came up there. I thought, what's going on? What's happening? What's he saying? What did I do? Where's this from? And then I thought, did Dave set this up? And I'm thinking, Dave would never do that. So no, I'm trying to make sense of all this. Then I got the security guards, armed security guards around afterwards going, hey, was that a setup? And I'm like, no, it wasn't. I could have used some help.
Arrest that guy.
yeah. Come on, arrest that man. But no.
It was good. Look, the one thing I like about it is, and again, we won't spend too much time on this, but the one thing I like about it is I told Meany to start promoting himself, and he wasted no time. Although it probably wasn't the right way of doing it, but he wasted no time.
Let me ask a quick question. You're right. It wasn't the right way of doing it. A heavyweight boxer threatening a 185-pounder, whatever I am, I don't know, I haven't weighed in, guy, you'd beat the crap out of me, let's be honest. That's probably not the right way. I see what he was going for.
It was great television, Brian.
It's only because they didn't shoot my pants. My pants were like a mess. It's hard. I changed my pants 3 times.
Junior and I were cracking up.
I heard the production guy was running. Everyone was running back. Was that real? I'm like, yes. That was the question of the night. Anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to see him fight. And apologies for my slip up that I did have, and I've apologized to him as well. So let's get on to the card, though. We were just talking earlier about Nico and about Chancey. Now, when I interviewed Chancey before the fight, he was a 4-1 in the odds. Like, he wasn't really favored. And after interviewing him, I don't know if it's just because I'm interviewing him, I felt something coming out of him. I did. I felt it. And I felt that he was just driven. Now, I believe you were there kind of off to the side for the interview. Were you listening to the interview? Did you feel that with Chancey, that he was so driven that he was going to win? I felt it.
It's kind of tough with Chancey because he's always smiling. He's such a nice
kid,
right?
But he wasn't smiling.
But he did, and he said, look, it's different. And the thing that I kind of believed in him, because he trained with him before, so he trained with Nico before, and he's like, I'm not worried about this. Look, Nico's a great fighter. He's got great speed, and he's probably a better fighter than me. But it's a different game, and it's a different night, and we're going to see what happens. And he brought it.
Well, off the record, it's on the record now. I talked to Chance. I'm sure he wouldn't mind after the fight, and he was proud of the fight, that it went where it did, and he seemed very excited to possibly fight for us again one day. And I know you don't love this kind of stuff. I do. Maybe I'm a bad sportsman. I know it's horrible, but he got punched in the face, and he goes, and that wasn't toward you. And then of course the ref says about taking a point off. But I was like, whoa! And I thought that was pretty cool.
Look, it was great. It was a good moment. It was great for the fans. It was great to show that, look, you're not, you hit me once and you're not taking me down. So
a lot of people counted Chancey out, so it was really cool to see how far he went.
No, it was great, man. And look, I mean, the fans loved the event. So that was our first time to do a legal bare knuckle fight in the state of Kansas. To us, to do a whole card. There was some legal bare knuckle in Kansas in the past couple of months, like one fight on an undercard of MMA card to test it out. But that was the first entire card of bare knuckle, and the fans, as you saw, couldn't get enough.
Open scoring's amazing. I wish every state athletic commission would adopt that. I mean, I don't know how the fighters feel about it. Some like it, some don't. But as a fan watching, I think it's absolutely amazing.
I think for our sport, it's great. I think for boxing, it may not work, only because if you're in a 12-round fighting, you're down 8 rounds to nothing or 9 rounds to nothing. What are you going to do? What's the guy that's up 9 rounds to nothing really going to do? He's going to coast. He's going to dance. He's going to grab the guy. He's not going to want to exchange. But in this, it's so fast-paced that I don't think it matters.
Well, you've spoken. I know you always speak to the fighters. You're very cool with the fighters. How did they feel about it? What's the prognosis?
They loved it. Yeah? They loved it. Look, they love everything about this. I mean, the one thing that I'll always beat my chest about is we treat the fighters great. Mm-hmm. We treat them phenomenal. Yeah. They love coming back. They love fighting for us. And unless you're just a complete piece of shit, you're always going to come back if you come and fight. And most of our guys are very respectful. And that's that's really the accolades we get here. That they can't believe how brutal the sport is on one hand, and on the other hand, they're so respectful to each other.
It's funny you say that because when we were flying to Kansas, I had my bare knuckle gear on, and one of the flight attendants, says that she goes, "Oh, I like your shirt. You work for them?" Because I've been seeing a lot of those shirts, and I said, "Yeah." I said, "I do." I was very proud to say that, and she said, "I know you guys. I heard about it on Joe Rogan's podcast." And then she goes, "It's crazy how nice all you guys are." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not a fighter," but she goes, "These guys beat each other, and you guys are like the nicest people in the world." I got that from many people. The hotel staff says that they're all shocked at how like we're some barbarians coming in there. It's a sport.
Well, I mean, look, and that's a good segue into this is the perception of the sport, right? The perception of the sport is that barbarian sport. It's that backyard sport. It's a bar fight. It's a street fight. It's not. It's anything but. It's bare knuckle boxing essentially with a twist is what I call it. You can clinch and punch. That's the only real big difference other than you're towing the line. So you're starting to fight from 3 foot and actually even less now because someone on the team designed the ring to be a little to design the lines to be a little closer.
Even closer now?
He didn't love the action that we were getting, so he wanted a little more action.
No, you're saying it wrong. It's not that he didn't love the action. He demands more action for the fans. That's how you say it.
So, with all that, look, the perception is now changing. It's changing into this is, people talk about it. They say, I wonder where this guy's going to go. Is he going to fight boxing, MMA, or BKFC now?
Yep.
So it's not just that he's saying, is he going to fight bare knuckle? They're saying, is he going to fight BKFC? So BKFC is now synonymous with bare knuckle fighting the same way UFC is with MMA. So when a lot of guys go, I train UFC.
Yep.
No, you train MMA. Mm-hmm. But it's so synonymous with it because of the popularity. Everybody thinks that MMA is UFC. Now everybody thinks that bare knuckle is BKFC, and it's sensational.
Yeah, it's great to own the market like that. I know that's a source of pride for all of us. Let's talk more about BKFC 13. A lot of other good stuff. I loved. You talk about the fans love it. They really loved. I know it's kind of a hometown boy. It's Wichita. Caveman. Love watching this guy's he's a beast. And he's great on mic,
too. He did not stop throwing punches the entire fight. He just kept throwing. He was good.
He wasn't up. He was up. He could have won, and he just kept trying to knock the guy out. He didn't coast like you're saying. He kept going.
Yep. Open scoring. He knew his corner told him he was up 3 rounds to nothing. He was up 4 rounds to nothing. But I mean, let's talk about Cliff Wright on the other hand.
Yeah,
he took a beating and just kept coming forward and kept standing there. People thought he was getting knocked out 3 or 4 different times. He didn't go down at all. He was sensational. So that was a great fight as well. But Caveman, I think there's a future here for him.
Oh, I do too.
He's not the most polished guy in the world. He's not a big boxer. He's not like, moving around and slick. He's not the biggest puncher in the world, but he's what bare knuckle fighting is all about. He's in your face, nonstop punching the entire fight.
He keeps coming. He's like Michael Myers. He just doesn't stop. He keeps coming. He keeps coming. Joe Elmore does the same thing. Yeah, that's what this theme song should be when he walks out. But not only that, I liked that Cliff Wright, he was just so tenacious. I think I said that in the post-match interview. Like the same thing you're saying. All the fans saw that. That guy, even in losing, made himself loved, I'd say, almost by the crowd for sticking up so much.
No, absolutely, he did. People really loved. That's that's why they like the sport. The sport you don't see a lot of one-sided fights here. I mean, look, if someone gets knocked out, that's a one-sided fight essentially. Yeah. But a lot of times in these fights, it's very competitive before someone gets knocked out. So you don't see a lot of one-sided fights, and that's, I think, really what brings the intrigue into this sport, because we're not established, haven't been around enough to have all these big-time stars where we're going, look, let's put this guy against this guy, and this guy will walk right over him. It's bare knuckle. It doesn't happen that way.
Yeah, it can switch like that. And the other thing is that I love the fact that, like you're saying, you could be a boxer, you could be a brawler. It's like Baskin Robbins, a variety of ice creams. It's a variety of different kind of fighters. We don't want to see all the same kind of fight. As a fan, I don't want to see. I'm sure you don't want to see all the same exact. It'd be boring. So I love that we can do that. I love that. Also, Toe the Line 2 just happened. That was huge. Another great Toe the Line. Toe the Line 1 was incredible as well. But before we talk about that, Toe the Line 2, can you just clear up, because it's still brand new, in a couple sentences, what Toe the Line is? I think there's, I don't want to say confusion, but people are talking, is it BKFC, is it Toe? They're two different things.
So we partner with local promoters in different areas to bring Toe the Line fight series to the BKTV app. So it's not like we're promoting the fights. We own the platform that's handling the fights, but we don't actually promote the local fights. But what Toe the Line is so special about is these guys are not only fighting for the money, because they're not getting paid the BKFC money. They're getting paid a lot less.
Yeah.
But they're fighting for the contract to fight on the big stage, and that's why they bring it each and every time. And that's why Toe the Line 2 had no fights that went the distance. Every fight was a finish, because they're fighting for that finish and for that contract.
Now, wasn't it only, it's supposed to be, correct me if I'm wrong, 2 contracts you give out, and the fights were so good you give out 4?
I mean, I gave out 4 for 2 events in a row. I know, but it's not just we're going to go broke. Where am I going to put these guys? But I mean, how can I tell these guys they're looking sensational? You look sensational, but you don't get the contract. I mean, they're sensational.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, again, the heavyweight main event. Oh. The last one was a heavyweight main event, a knockdown, drag-out fight. This was a knockdown, drag-out fight for 2 rounds until Mike Kyle had some type of injury and he wasn't able to continue.
Yeah, Bobo was a lot of fun to watch too, man. I knew he was going to be. I'd seen what he'd done in the past, so it was cool to have him on there. And another great event. The fans enjoyed it, and it was just awesome. Now, I also heard, and I don't know if this is true, but I want to find out. Are you looking at doing some Toe the Line MMA, Toe the Line kickboxing? I heard. I thought I heard that rumbling around the office. Is that true? And will that be bare knuckle when you do the bare knuckle MMA, bare knuckle kickboxing?
Yeah, let's put that on hold for a little bit here, Brian, because we're not ready to announce that. But some exciting news is forthcoming.
Wow, man, that'll be awesome, man. We're gonna keep rolling here. I love that. Another great fight coming up. A lot of people are talking about this. I think we should too, and we kind of have a connection to this. Mike Tyson, of course, versus Roy Jones, and it's going to be on Fight TV November 28th. Everyone's talking about it. I know, actually, when we were in Florida, a guy talked to me who said he was with Mike Tyson when BKFC offered him to fight here.
Right.
Now, that came out all over, publicized everywhere. We actually made him an offer, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We made him a legitimate offer.
How much? Tell me.
I mean, it was a $20 million flat fee offer plus incentives where he could have walked with anywhere from the counter offer that I gave him, anywhere between 50 and 60 million had he sold what I thought he would sell. I mean, everybody in combat sports, I thought that he would do 1 million pay-per-view buys, and I think that's easy. Yeah. And had he done that, he would have made a lot of money. Take my hat off to Mike Tyson. He's one of the best that ever did it, and it's great to see him getting back in there, but I don't think he wants to really fight, and this is not derogatory to him. Right? That's why I don't think he wanted to get hit with a bare knuckle. Look, he's a legend. He doesn't need to do this anymore, right?
Yeah.
So although the money was a great offer, he's a legend. He didn't want to mess up his legacy,
yeah,
and I get that, because this is a different world, and crossing over into this, anything could have happened, and he didn't want to tarnish his legacy. So I respect the hell out of him, and I wish him the best. I just hope that this is a tremendous fight for the fans, because everybody's looking forward to seeing Mike Tyson fight Roy Jones.
Now, it'll be interesting, too, because from what I've seen and heard, Roy Jones, a lot of people might not, fight fans will realize this, but normal people might not. He's been fighting up to a couple years ago?
Yeah, actually, I promoted one of his last fights ever in Delaware.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
In Wilmington, Delaware. He fought Bobby Gunn at the Chase Center, Wilmington, Delaware. That was in 2017.
I think it was, yeah.
February.
Don't ask me, I don't know dates. I'm not going to hold that.
February 17, 2017.
A former fighter remembered all the dates. That's amazing. I can't believe you can do that.
I can't believe I remember my name. Almost couldn't.
Nah. So as far as the fight, though, it's supposed to be like an exhibition. I've seen them both getting ready. Tyson appeared tired in an interview the other day. I saw that, made me a little nervous. He's an older guy now, but I know
he's not that. Look, he's 54 years old or 55. He's not he's not in a rocking chair, and
how
he
old was
looks
Foreman when he won the title?
He was 40. He was the oldest guy in the world, 40 something. But I mean, look,
he can still fight.
The good thing is he's not fighting a young lion. He's fighting a great fighter, Roy Jones Jr., a phenomenal fighter. Again, one of the best that ever did it at his prospective weight class. But he's not fighting a young lion. So, again, anything can happen. But I think he's matched. I think it's an intriguing matchup.
You're gonna be watching.
I'm trying to go to it. I'm trying to see if I can get in.
Look at him throwing it out there. If you have a ticket, if you can help us out.
The president of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship wants to go to the Tyson fight. No, I think I am going to go. It's a very limited attendance there, but I'm trying to see if I can sneak myself in.
Man, if you remember back in the day when Tyson would fight, it was like the street lights would go out. Nobody was out. Everybody was watching. So I'll be watching too. That'll be exciting to watch Iron Mike walk down the ring. Which leads me to my next question. I was thinking about this, and I've thought about this for years. We were talking about getting hit with a bare knuckle. Obviously, you're a former fighter. I've done professional wrestling. I tried boxing a couple times. I got my head knocked off. I'm not you guys. I have a deep respect for what you do. So my thing is, Mike Tyson. Now, you're a fighter. Be different from me. Would you take a shot, a punch, directly to the face from Mike Tyson? How much money would it cost you to do that? I've thought about this for years.
I mean, I absolutely would.
You're nuts.
For the right amount of money, absolutely. I'm not doing that for free. And is it a bare knuckle? Or
straight up like a bar fight. Just punch. Because remember when he punched that guy in the face in one punch?
Probably going to break my cheekbone.
He's going to break your whole...
Probably going to break my orbital. He might break my jaw.
Your brain.
He's probably going to do something to my neck. So I don't know, $1 million?
Yeah, it's got to be at least $1 million.
$500,000 to $1 million.
You do for $500,000?
I might do it for $500,000.
Mike Tyson, if you're watching this, $500,000, we can get a GoFundMe together. He's going to take a punch directly to his face. Most fighters like it, but there might be
Actually, that might be great build-up for his fight. I'll go out to California, and I'll just stick my chin out there and get hit by Mike Tyson. And I think, some people aren't going to want to see it, but I think a lot of people would love to see Mike Tyson knock me out.
I was starting to say that. Okay, since you said it, why not? I definitely wouldn't do it for... Well, see, that's hard. He would be like a truck hit you. So you'd have to make sure you had the money because of brain damage. And one shot from that guy. Because again, I don't remember the guy's name, but remember when he got in that bar fight and that guy looked like he got hit by a truck years ago? It's online. You can search for it. It's crazy.
Oh, the guy that Tyson got in a fight with?
I don't know if it was a bar fight, but he punched
Mitch Green.
Yes.
He was also he fought him in a boxing match as well. Mitch Blood Green. It was crazy.
Before or after he got punched in the face? Was the boxing match?
No, before.
Okay, good. Because why would you ever want to get hit by Mike Tyson again, especially not get paid for it? Keep your mouth shut. Let's talk about BKFC 14. Very excited about that. I know you are too. I'm very excited. I think it's on its road to being sold out. I think tickets just went on sale. It's 25% sold already, which is awesome. That's got to make you excited. In Miami.
No, I mean, it's very limited. We're building this as more of a VIP type event. It's going to be a really nice event. It's in a nice place called the Intercontinental in Miami, one of the nice hotels in Miami. We're going to do these bar and food packages, just make it a really nice VIP feel. And we have a lot of celebrities that are already requesting our VIP tickets. So
can I talk? Can I mention some names? I've heard rumors. Can I talk about the rumors, or would you rather me not release those yet?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just tell you one that is confirmed. We just got confirmed from. He's actually one of the fighters. Is Brutal Jake Bostic or Jake Brutal Bostic.
Yes.
He's going to be fighting on this card. Sensational fighter from England, and now he lives in Florida. And one guy that he trains is Timbaland, the rapper Timbaland, and Timbaland actually yesterday requested some tickets, so he'll be there. And it's going to be very, very star-studded.
I saw the list, and even me, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. There's some really big names. That's what's happening. We're getting all these DMs and stuff from celebrities that are taking interest in this because they're seeing what we're doing. But I'm excited, as I know, I can feel the excitement around from the fans too. You got Palomino Allers. I'm saying good friends, better enemies, former training partners. We did a face-off with them recently. It was pretty intense. That's going to be a great fight. You got Dat versus Reggie, another great fight where those guys have an issue. They were jaw-jacking back and forth. And then you have so many other great things in that card. I think it's like 8 other bare-knuckle bouts, which is always fun and always great to watch. But I feel like, would you say, being the founder of this is one of the biggest shows we've had thus far? I feel the feel around it with Palomino Allers just feels really big. And then you got the co-main, too.
It's getting there. It absolutely is. I mean, I think Arnold Adams and Paulie Malignaggi at the time was the biggest fight and the most talked about fight that we had. This is absolutely probably going to be the most exciting fight card we ever had. And I say that every fight. This is going to be the most exciting one, but every one gets more and more exciting. I think from start to finish, this card is match sensational. Nate Shook did a great job at matching this card. And we have great fight of the night candidates again on each and every one of these fights. So it's going to be a highly talked about fight as we lead up to it. The reason is because all 4 guys in the co-main event and main event have true, legitimate bad blood with each other.
Yeah.
So it's going to be
isn't it crazy how that excites us even more?
Yes.
I does as fans.
Well, I mean, you know what? As a promoter, you want really true, organic bad blood, and you have it here. It's great. It's great for promotional tools.
You do, and you can feel it. Being the guy that's doing the interviews, you can feel that in the room. That's definitely the case. So we're looking forward to that. We got the celebrities coming. Make sure you check out BKFC 14. It's going to be a great show, of course, on BKTVApp.com.
Awesome,
Thanks, David.
Brian. Thank you.